This is Ponder Darling, my busted heart. It is morning. I have no makeup on, and I really hate that thing. It's just a scar, but every time I do a video, I see it and I'm like, ew. And I've got my cup of coffee in the Starbucks mug that my beautiful, amazing sister gave me for Christmas because she's awesome. And I can hear the birds chirping behind me, and it's going to be a good day. I just feel it. It's going to be a good day. I've got some really cool things planned today, and life is good. So, this is the epiphany I wanted to share today, and I hope that it helps. There is a difference between a flower and a weed. Now, the flower is something that you plant intentionally, and then you nurture it and it grows into something lovely. And it doesn't, a flowering plant in your garden generally is not going to take over everything else in your garden. It's going to complement whatever else you've planted there. A weed takes over your garden and kills everything else in your garden until it's the only thing there. So this is what happened to me. 5.5 years ago, this is how it all started. I'm going to tell you. 5.5 years ago, Jefferson found me again, and we talked on the first time we ever talked on the phone. I have a very vivid memory of it. I remember exactly what he said, and this is what he said. He said, I have never loved anyone the way that I love you. I have compared every woman that I've ever been with to you. You've just always stayed in my heart and my mind. Now, that was the seed. That was the seed that was planted in my garden. That was the seed that started to grow into this belief that he is the love of my life and he is my soulmate, and it's magical kismet that we met again. And obviously God is trying to tell me that this man who really loved me has come back into my life. It's such a pretty story though, right? It's a pretty story. It's a lovely, lovely story. But then here's what happened. That seed planted and it sprouted, and I, thinking that it was a real flower, started to feed it and water it. And I watered it and fed it for 5.5 years because I believed that it was going to be this amazing flower in my garden. And what it ended up doing was completely taking over my garden. And yes, this weed had some pretty flowers on it. I had some lovely memories. I had experiences with Jefferson that were lovely. And I talk all about them in Infinity Wars. But in the end, the thing was a weed. And it choked out every other beautiful thing in my life. Every other beautiful thing in my life just got choked out. It got destroyed. People lost respect for me. People walked away because they couldn't stand watching me take this kind of shit from somebody. And, you know, he drained me so much that I ended up, like, you know, not having trouble working my job. I mean, I would call in sick because I'd be just so exhausted from taking care of him and from him not, you know, just not refilling my cup at all. So I'm saying this because I want it to be a cautionary tale for you. And also, if you are feeling like your life got taken over by this person and that's why your heart is broken, because that, you know, either he ripped that weed out or the weed died and you realize that your garden has nothing growing in it. It's a lesson for all of us that we need to be very aware of the types of plants that are growing in our garden. And obviously, if you're wondering, like, what is she talking about a garden? What is that? This isn't a gardening YouTube channel. No, it's not a gardening YouTube channel. I'm talking metaphorically, okay? The garden is your heart, and you can either put something in it that's going to help you and make your life better, or you can allow in it something that is going to choke the life out of you. So pick the plants in your garden very wisely, and the minute you see that they are starting to choke out other stuff, realize that that's a weed and rip it out. That's what I got for you today. Thanks.